from the KATC Weatherland, here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, it's October 2nd. Sometimes we're dealing with a hurricane in the first week of October. This year, no tropical systems, thank goodness, and a lot of heat, though. 91 degrees today, and we're going to go one more time to the final tote board and then kind of put a button on all of this. By the way, September wound up being the hottest September on record. That's following the hottest June, July, and August on record. And, well, September did it again as well. And on top of that, we're also seeing that we surpassed the last record of what we have been talking about, the 90-degree days. Today, 131st 90-degree day, beating the record of 130 set back in 2005. Look at the number of 95-degree days. Incredible across the board, and 33 100-degree days this summer. 7th driest summer on record, and some spots were worse than that. That's the official number coming out of Lafayette. Also on this date, back just 21 years ago, many of us remember Hurricane Lily was a Cat 4 storm, came in as a Category 1, fortunately, 90-mile-per-hour winds, but we had plenty of gusts in the 110 to 115 range. Started out east of the Caribbean. Also, by the way, we don't celebrate Hurricane Hilda, which came in 1964 on October 3rd. Both of these storms directly smacking Acadiana. More fatalities with Hilda, mainly because there was a tornado over by La Place that killed 30, but there were fatalities in Vermilion Parish where that water tower collapsed right at the fire station where people were stationed during the storm. So that was so unfortunate, and Lily was responsible for a handful of fatalities, mainly trees falling on homes and cars. But if you look at the winds with Hurricane Lily, we had hurricane force winds in the area outlined in orange, and then these numbers are the gusts that we got reported, and that was mostly in tornadoes, gustnadoes, or just strong damaging winds in the decaying rain bands associated with the center of the circulation that moved on through. So a memorable day for sure back in 2002. Fortunately, it's been quiet. Mr. High Pressure has been dominating across our part of the world over the last several months, and that's why we've been so hot. But we have a disruptor here, an upper-level low that's coming in, producing showers and some storms out ahead of it, even the threat of severe weather, and behind it, it's snow in the higher elevations of the Rockies from Utah all the way up through Wyoming and Montana as well. Now, high pressure dominating over the eastern U.S. has allowed for a pretty stiff easterly breeze, and new tonight at 10, a coastal flood advisory has been issued by the National Weather Service. And you can tell it's new tonight at 10 because I have a misspelling. That should be tide 1 to 1.5 feet above normal in the outlying areas because the water's piling up there, and it's in effect through tomorrow. Those winds will abate a little bit with time later this week. Power Doppler 3, all is quiet here, so we shift into the tropics. No issues close to home. That is the good news. Only storm in town is Tropical Storm Philippe, which is impacting the Leeward Islands with very heavy rainfall and some gusty winds. It moved over Barbuda earlier today, now starting to move to the north. It's got 50-mile-per-hour winds. Might get close to a hurricane. Should miss Bermuda. Here's Bermuda now, a little bit more in the cone, so we'll be watching for that island. But that's it going on in the tropics. So as we look at the map for tomorrow, generally fair skies, some moisture trying to work its way up toward the upper Texas coast, but it won't be impacting Acadiana. We get into the lower 90s. Tomorrow night, not quite as cool. We'll favor closer to the lower 70s, and the humidity continues to creep up as we head into Wednesday as well. But here's the good news. Here comes the front on Thursday afternoon. A few showers out ahead of it, maybe Thursday night into Friday. Don't count on a whole lot of rain, but breezy and cooler to follow. Look at this. Temperatures in the 70s Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday morning down into the 50s. So finally, it's going to feel like fall. Not too bad. Northern parishes, though, tonight. Lower 60s your low. Tomorrow, as we get to the I-10 corridor, mid to upper 60s, 68 in Lafayette, and the same along the coast. Then tomorrow, we'll be looking at mid-90s as we get up toward central Louisiana. There's going to be some high clouds from the west, so that may temper some of the heat. 92 to 93 in Lafayette, and much the same across the coastal parishes. So overnight tonight, it's going to be a quiet night. Very light easterly wind wind. Inland, 68 the low is what we'll go with clear skies, and look for that moon very late. Jupiter real close to the moon last night. Tonight, Jupiter will be leading out ahead of the moon, so that'll be well after midnight when you'll get to see that, probably closer to 1 or 2 in the morning if you're up that late. Humidity inching upward tomorrow. Another typical summer day out there. We'll go 92 for the projected high, 94 on Wednesday. Thursday still hitting 90, but here comes the front Friday, and hopefully a nice cool weekend on tap. But again, don't plan on much rain for Friday. We'll talk more about rainfall totals as we get a little bit closer in, but maybe a ½ inch of rain. And boy, we do need the rain, Taylor, but right now I think all of us want the cooler air to start.
Cool and breezy is what we're looking for.
That's right.
Rob.
This weekend's going to be fantastic.
Some good news, and good to see you again. It's been a minute since I've seen you around here, and I know everybody's just so excited to actually have some fall-like temperatures coming up. I mean, this summer has been a bear.
It has been a bear, and this is more than overdue. So hopefully it stays this way for 2 months once it gets in.
I know, we sure hope so. Thanks, Rob.